Welcome back, guys, to the Just Lunga show. This is a bit weird because it's in the morning. There's daylight.
Maybe we should go back to morning, Nina. I kind of like this morning thing.
You do? Okay, it's
Yeah.
got to be very early. I feel like, Edward Cullen in those Twilight. I feel a bit fair in the morning. Okay, anyway,
We have to
welcome
remember
back.
when we first started, it was in the morning. You remember that?
Ye-
It was
Yes,
a
but
long
that
time
was
ago,
because
right?
the whole world was stuck at home. Okay, so nobody was
Yeah.
doing anything, so they needed something in the morning. Okay, anyway, welcome back to another episode of Just Lanka, guys. Today we are talking about Ahmad Imam's journey to 1 million followers, and most
Mhm.
importantly, the lessons that he learned along the way. Okay, so it is our 61st episode. I got it right, not 58, 61st of Just Lanka. So welcome one, welcome all. Now, let us know who's in the house. If you are a regular popcooner who's not used to us out in daylight, say popcoon. And if you're a newbie, you're like, hey, what's the show? What's happening? It's in the morning. Let us know in the comments. Say noob if you're a newbie. Let us know where you're tuning in from and share with us what do you guys want to get from today's session, Journey to 1 million followers and the lessons along the way. Happening right here on the Just Langa show with me, Nina.
And I'm preparing my notebook, my pen, because I want to know how to get to 1 million. That's what it is.
Woohoo! Okay. Now, while waiting for you guys to comment, okay, if you're new to the show, Just Long as where we interview the movers and shakers of the world to help you guys grow your authority, impact, and income as a thought leader, business influencer, and the authority in your respective industries. In other words, we're Popcorn. We build Southeast Asia's business influencers and thought leaders. So if this is something that excites you, do follow us on our social media. We've got trainings, events, you name it. Lots of talks like this. Yeah. So
Yep.
do follow us so you can get updated on the latest. Coming up next week in the month of August. No, wait a minute. We are in the month of August. We've got a powerful lineup. Tonight, as you know, we've got, today now, as you know, we've got Ahmad Imam. Thursday next
Mhm.
week, we're back to 8:30, although I need to double check on the time. It is 8:30. We've got award-winning and internationally acclaimed speaker, audiobook publisher, corporate podcast producer, and vocal leadership expert Tina Dietz talking about unleash your thought leadership with audio marketing. I think that's interesting, right? I mean, did not think of thought leadership with audio marketing, but something that it's very exciting. She's actually been featured on ABC, Inc.com, Huffington Post, and Forbes. And her first podcast, the Start Something Show, was named by Inc. magazine as a top 35 podcast for entrepreneurs. Definitely excited to hear what she has to share. And on Thursday, 26th August, we finally have a babe because we keep getting all the good-looking men, like our speaker today, but we don't have a babe, not so many. And she's amazing because so Amin's happy. She's amazing because she's a TikTok influencer with 3.6 million followers. I'm clueless about TikTok, so would love to know it. She's a child parenting and marriage counselor, founder of Mama Life. And I think we're going to have a bit of a communication breakdown, but it's okay. I'll speak in my horrible Malay, so we'll probably be speaking Bahasa Indonesia, which Amin is better at, and we're going to have a husband as well. So she's going to be speaking about
That's
how
cool.
she grew. Yeah, she's going to be speaking about how she grew her business using TikTok. So again, if this is something that excites you, make sure you follow us on all our social media so you'll be notified. But today, we are talking about growing your authority, growing your influence, and our guest today has successfully done it. I mean, we're talking 1 million. You cannot get any more famous than that, okay? So, and it's not often that we get speakers like this. So, what is it that you guys want to know? Let us know in the comment section. Get your pens, get your papers ready. We ourselves are like, oh, we need to learn. So, what is it that you want to learn today? I mean,
The journey to 1 million. I mean, to get to 20,000 is a different game. To get to 1 million, I think it's a different game altogether. Okay.
I'd like to know when he
Yeah.
started. It's like
Yeah.
1 million. Was it like at the start of LinkedIn? When did LinkedIn even have a show? That sort of thing. So I'm curious
Exactly.
about that. What is the mentality and how many hours does he spend? I'm already going nuts. I don't even have. I just passed 10,000. I'm going nuts now. So what about you guys? What do you guys want to learn? What do you want to ask our guests? Let us know in the comment section. Get it all ready. Okay. So today,
Yep.
who are we speaking to? We are speaking to a LinkedIn influencer with 1 million followers and his journey and the lessons he's learned along the way. How did he get to 1 million? What's the secret? What did he learn along the way? How has this impacted his life and business? And how is he leveraging on LinkedIn? All this and so much more we're going to uncover today. If you think this is useful, is going to make a difference to somebody out there, it's going to make a difference to you, share it out there. Tag the people that you who can benefit from this, because we're going to learn so much from right now. Okay, so once you're done with that, what do we tell you at Popcorn? Get your pens and paper ready. Okay, get ready to download massive learnings. By the end of this hour, you're going to level up your knowledge on LinkedIn. So who do we have in the house? Our guest today is a presenter, host, influencer, edutainer, content creator. You can find him hosting events featuring some of the world's greatest speakers. We're talking thought leaders, educators, including Tony Robbins, Robert Kiyosaki, Dean Graziosi, Jim Quick, to name a few. He's been awarded the International Man of Empowerment 2021. Sounds like James Bond, right? I mean, one of the top 10 influencers to follow in 2021, Global Ambassador for World Innovation Alliance, and has been featured in Forbes, Inc. not once, but 4 times. He's also the host and co-host of so many shows, including LinkedIn's first TV show, Level Up TV, Rising LinkedIn Stars, LinkedIn Crips, and presenter of Top 50 Most Impactful People on LinkedIn list. Now, so ladies and gentlemen, if you're ready to supersize your business by 1 million followers, because I am, if you are, then please welcome Ahmad Imam.
I got to do that.
How you doing?
Good.
That is one of the greatest introductions I've ever had. Hands down.
Oh, thank you. We want to be like you, introduce amazing speakers, so we get to give back to you, kind of thing.
Yeah, I love that. That was brilliant. And the applause at the end just made me feel very special. So thank you.
Oh, thank you. Well, thank you for joining us. We're so excited. I can't tell you how many people got back to me and they're like, Ahmad Imam, oh wow, they go like that. So even as we're talking right now, the number of people tuning in are like going up. So first things first, Ahmad, in your own words, could you share with us a little bit about you and how you got started on LinkedIn? And I guess the question I'm curious, when did you start on LinkedIn? I'd assume that when LinkedIn started, but that can't be because there was there was not much going on at the time. But please do share with us.
You'll be very surprised. So LinkedIn started in 2002, and I was very, very late to the party. So I actually started my journey from the very beginning in October of 2018. So it's actually been a little under 3 years.
Wow! And you're 1 million. Oh my God! That's amazing.
So it's been a hell of a ride, I have to say. So there's a lot of things to talk about. And there's a lot of things that were done in that time that helped me reach to the level that I am today. So I actually just started off. When I started off on LinkedIn, I was a real estate agent in Sydney.
Oh, wow.
So I was the director of a property consultancy in Sydney, and that's what I was doing. It was more or less sales. And I jumped on LinkedIn because I'd heard about it from a few people that it had sort of changed. And they'd come out with video on LinkedIn, and the culture of LinkedIn was changing from sort of a job search platform to more of a content creation platform. And so I thought, okay, I'll check it out. And I really just went on there as a bit of an experiment, just to see, how the process of creating content works, what kind of response I'll receive. And I remember putting out my very first video, and it took me 1 hour to record a 47-second video.
Wow. Okay, that's normal.
I had no idea what I was doing when I was creating content. So I sat myself in the car. I picked up my phone, I held it horizontally, I pressed record, and I just spoke about whatever I could speak about. And then the more I watched it back, the more overwhelming and nervous I became. And I started to re-record, delete. And after about an hour, I was like, you know what? I think this is the best I can do. I'm just going to put this out. And I put it out, and something amazing happened. I didn't get millions of views or anything like that. I got, I think, about 180 views, not likes, just views. And I was really happy with that. I was like, wow, 180 people just watched this video. That's incredible. So it all started from there. And once I received a little bit of a response, I built up some confidence and courage to then getting a lot more creative with my content. And it turned into me sharing stories that were very vulnerable. It turned into me putting out rap videos. You know, like I was involved in the first rap music video on LinkedIn, which involved about 70 other influencers, and it was just a lot of fun. Went on to create live shows like LinkedIn's first live show, Level Up TV, and there's a number of other live shows that I do currently. And in between, a huge amount of collaboration, you know, just working with people from all across the globe and creating content together. You know, being able to leverage off each other, share each other's audiences has very much helped. And it's been a daily process since then of creating content every single day, with the aim of focusing on either education or entertainment or simply inspiration. Spending a lot of time engaging with people and supporting other people in the network and community as well. And there's a lot has gone into it. I think you asked the question earlier, how many hours has that been? I actually calculated in the 2.5 years, a little over 2.5 years, it's been about 6,100 hours on the platform. No, sorry, it's been more than that. It's been 6,100 pieces of content in that time. And it's been a huge amount of hours. So that's the story in brief, and happy to go through it in detail.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, so October 2018, that's crazy. When you started, what was your goal?
Yeah.
You were still a property agent at that time. And how did it kind of change along the way?
Yeah, my goal wasn't to build influence or to have a large community. My goal was actually to just learn how to put out content, really. Wow. So I was very confident in terms of speaking at that stage, and I'd built up, you know, I'd practiced a lot to be able to speak comfortably and be confident in that way, but I was very, very new to creating content. And there's nothing natural about holding up a camera in front of you and speaking to it.
And looking at yourself, right?
And looking at yourself. It's a completely different skill set to, let's say, speaking on stage or speaking to people. So it's just something that I wanted to learn, and that's literally how it started. And from there, as I started to build up a bit of a community, I gained, let's say, you know, 1,000 followers, then 2,000 followers, then 5,000, then 10,000. It really started to overwhelm me, in the sense that I'm like, what exactly am I doing here? You know, what exactly are people here to see? Like, what do they want to see from me? And so I started to do a lot of introspection. And I actually worked with a business strategist who I still work with. They're amazing. And they just helped me understand a little bit more about me and what I have to offer. So it was an introspective process of understanding my values, understanding what it is that I actually stand for, understanding what I can offer, what people really expect from me, and how I can do all that by being completely authentic and really just tapping into the person that I am. So instead of putting out this professional persona that a lot of people put out on LinkedIn, and they feel they have to do that because it's a bit of a professional workspace and work platform, it was doing the opposite. It was peeling back a few layers and just getting people to get to know the human being behind the professional persona. And for me, that was the key. And once I started doing that and allowing people to connect with me as a human being, it all changed, and my following started to increase exponentially. My content became far more real, and I was just focused on being real instead of perfect. And yeah, I mean, fast forward to today, and it's been a hell of a ride. It still hasn't kicked in, the fact that I've been able to generate and build you know, an amazing community.
And in terms of business, what is it that you're doing now? Because are you still, you know, doing the property thing, or it has completely shifted? You're doing other things?
No, well, in the process of working with my business strategist, I realized that the property thing wasn't where I was supposed to be. It wasn't something that I was incredibly passionate about. I like sales, don't get me wrong. And I've been in sales, you know, in many different forms, from being a sales rep when I started to being a sales leader. But the property industry was not my thing. You know? So I actually left there about 2 years ago, and I started to focus on doing a lot more of what I'm doing. And what I realized I love doing is a lot of the performing and presenting and hosting and content creation. and social media. I mean, that's my world. That's where I really flourish, and that's where I thrive. And so I started to dive deep into that world, and I was blessed enough. And this is an amazing story. Like I started my journey as in my my childhood journey when I was about 17, and I was very, very shy and awkward. And I worked at a pizza place at that time. I was literally just making pizzas and washing dishes. And my manager at the time, the actual owner of the pizza place, when I was about to leave the pizza shop, he gave me a gift. And the gift was a 24-disc CD set by Tony Robbins. And,
wow.
It changed everything for me. And when we're talking CDs, we're talking back in the day here. I'm not giving away my age, but it was a while ago. And I'd never heard of self-improvement. So I put on the first CD, and as soon as I heard Tony Robbins' voice, I was like, I don't know who this person is, but this is something that I need to know. And it led me on this journey to just build my confidence and courage and go from being this shy, awkward kid to someone that's very comfortable in their own skin. And to think that 15 years later, and I've given away my age a bit there, I have the ability now to partner with a business like Success Resources. And we partner directly with Tony Robbins. So it feels like my journey has almost gone full circle in that respect. Yes. And so now I'm doing a lot of presenting and hosting with Success Resources, and fortunate enough to meet and interview so many incredible, influential, talented educators around the world. In addition to that, I'm the ambassador for a number of charities and organizations and non-for-profits that I'm seriously passionate about. I'm passionate about anti-bullying, and so I partnered with an organization called Bully Zero. I'm passionate about social impact, so I've partnered with an organization called World Innovation Alliance. And I'm also a social media consultant. So LinkedIn, believe it or not, has allowed me to generate 2 different revenue streams by simply doing what I do every day, and that is putting out content that either entertains, educates, or inspires.
Wow. Okay, that is amazing, kind of thing. I do have a question, because somebody's asking, LinkedIn has their own TV show? Is that like on TV, or is that like on LinkedIn itself?
Yeah, so that's on LinkedIn itself. So when I say TV show, we turned LinkedIn Live into the format of a TV show, which hadn't been done before.
Right.
So, I mean,
okay.
Just like you guys are doing now, which this is an incredible show. I love it. We turned LinkedIn Live from being, just a platform where people were just grabbing their phones and walking through the streets and just talking to their community, to the actual format of a TV show. So where we had everything from intros and outros and special guests and games and interactions and giveaways and content in the format of TV shows. So we made it very, very structured and fun and edutaining, as I like to call it, like that. And with that, we were able to get recognized by not only LinkedIn, but we were recognized by Forbes. And Forbes wrote an article on the piece as us being innovators in terms of the LinkedIn Live space. And with that, we've been able to just build a very, very large community with our live show. So
that's fantastic. Respect. Amazing. Kind of thing. Who were you guys interviewing? Basically, thought leaders and business influencers, right?
Yeah, look, we had the benefit of being able to interview a lot of incredible thought leaders, but we actually spent a lot of the show, and we still do, just giving away valuable content. So we just pull content that is both educational and, say, pop culture, and we interact with our community as we speak about it. So we don't like to just teach. We like to engage in it in such a way that we're speaking with our audience, again, in the same way that you both do, which is great.
Thank you.
So it's quite a lot of work that's involved in terms of preparing the content and making sure that it's relevant for the show. But it's so much fun, and we love doing it every single Wednesday. And I think we're up to, I think we're about a little over a year in terms of doing it with that particular format. And somewhere under 60 episodes. So it's been amazing.
Okay, it's been amazing. Fantastic. Okay, and who do you work with? Is it with your brand strategist, or you have your own team who come together to do this?
So we have a few different shows. So the Level Up TV show, and we've got a show called Unleashed as well. I actually co-host with the managing director of Success Resources, who is incredible. Not only a very good friend, but someone that I highly respect and admire. And we both just share not only our experience, but the lessons that we've personally learned. And we've learned these lessons from a lot of the great people that we usually host in terms of events. So we come together for the benefit of sharing our knowledge as part of, let's say, Success Resources. And there's also shows that I do that are more based around me personally.
Right. Okay. Fantastic. Love it. Love it. Love it. Okay. So, Amin, do you have any questions before we go into?
I do.
Yes. Go.
I
go
do.
ahead.
With a lot of things, with a lot of the things that you are doing, how do you find the balance between life, LinkedIn, and also the business side of things, right? Because
You're
I
laughing.
know, yeah, yeah. Because I know the discipline that is required for this is super high, right?
Yeah.
So maybe there's some certain wisdom that you can actually share with us in terms of, how do you spread your time in this? Every one of us only have 24 hours, but what is sufficient and effective for you?
Yeah, look, I realized a little while ago that it's possible to do if you don't sleep.
Okay.
I'm just joking. Yeah. Look, it requires a lot of consistency. I think discipline is key. Persistence is key. Consistency is key. There's going to be a lot of times where, as we all know, that sometimes you put out content or a show and it just falls flat. That no one really resonates with it. You just hear crickets. Other times you put out content or a project or a show and people love it. But consistency is key. So, just remaining consistent, not only with my content and also my engagement, and also, then the outcome of those pieces, which is obviously monetizing those pieces of content and the brand, is absolutely key. And there's going to be so many times where you just think to yourself, is this actually worth it? Like, am I?
I know what you mean. I'm asking that question this morning. Is this worth it? I want to see.
You're constantly asking yourself that question. But the most rewarding thing is just those messages that you receive from people saying your piece of content, really left a positive impact on me, or it made me think differently, or I was able to share this with my son and daughter, or it made me smile today. All those little messages, and they're not little to me, but those messages just make the biggest difference. And that combines with the fact that a lot of people don't know how powerful this platform is, not only to build your brand, but to also build a business from scratch. It's incredible. So, you can do everything from build a global brand or a local brand, depending on your product or service. You can generate revenue with so many different revenue streams. Everything from obviously just, coaching or consulting, sponsorships, ambassadorships. You can generate revenue with events. It's limitless. It really is.
It is, isn't it? Yeah.
It is. And there aren't enough people doing it. And it's an organic thing. If you're able to assist people with your services or provide them some education or entertainment, then you have the ability to generate revenue through that. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think people are afraid of doing that. As long as you're giving away enough free value, far more often than you are monetizing, and as long as you focus initially on building your brand and building that trust for quite a period of time to actually build that trust with your community, you can then monetize your brand without doing it too early. And I'm very blessed to be able to have done that.
Wow, congratulations. That's amazing. Okay, I have a question to continue what Amin said. In your day-to-day life, could you share with us what's your daily routine like? Because I'm just wondering, how much time do you spend on LinkedIn?
Yeah, we would like to know the lifestyle of a business influencer.
Of a business influencer.
Okay, so I would say a couple of hours of my day would be involved with creating content and posting content. So I would probably dedicate at least 1 to 2 hours per day to creating content. And it might not necessarily be for that particular day, but you know, for the period going forward. I would spend probably 1 hour per day engaging with people on social media, and actually just giving back. I would probably spend anywhere from 4 to 5 hours consulting with my clients, which is one of my revenue streams, and helping them do the same thing, build influence, build visibility, helping their organizations or themselves with their presence. And I would also then, depending on the situation, I might spend an hour or two performing some sort of presenting or hosting for either different organizations or different events. And obviously then there's time spent with my family and eating and doing the things that a human being needs to do. But I would probably say every day that I would spend anywhere from 1 to 2 hours on LinkedIn. And that's not including the creating of the content. You know, so that'll be 1 to 2 hours engaging, and also in the messages, either connecting with people, building relationships, or responding to inquiries about my
like how I messaged you and responding to me. Yes.
And a lot of people are surprised when they see that I actually respond to messages, and it's me. Yeah, it's personally me doing that. And I feel that's very, very important. So yeah, I mean, each day is relatively full, but all of those activities I love doing. So it's relatively easy for me to keep it consistent.
Okay, I have a question. Let's take a break.
Yeah.
Do you allow yourself to take a break?
Weekends. Yeah, weekends I don't do those things. Weekends is usually just family time. I do post content on the weekends, but I mean it's usually all prepared ahead of time, and I don't do any client consultations and presentations or anything like that. So yeah, the weekends I take breaks.
Okay, somebody's actually writing down everything you said, summarizing it. We've got good students.
Wow.
This is the follow-up question. This is the follow-up question.
Okay, go.
Follow-up question, right? What's your drive? What gets you moving?
Good one, Amin.
Yeah, brilliant question. I have a mission, and that is I want to help at least 1 million people build the confidence and courage they need to live their best life. Due to my personal experience, I want to help people destroy their doubt. I want to help people start tapping into their own genuine and real selves and be comfortable and confident with that. And through my example, I hopefully wish to inspire people to do the same. And so I've been able to do that using content and LinkedIn as a platform, and I want to do that across other platforms as well. That's my main drive. And in addition to that, I want to give back as much as I can to the people that have helped me. And there's been a number of people in my life that have believed in me when I definitely didn't believe in myself. And I think it's important for all of us to do that. You know, if we can just do that for one person, the ripple effect and the trajectory that person can have is incredible. And so, yeah, I just want to give back in that respect.
Okay. I just want to add this comment. Jane is saying, I have noticed that good looks does have a pulling effect. In fact, everybody's saying good looking speaker, you know, that kind of thing. Do you get that comment a lot? Kind of thing?
Yeah,
but I'm sure you give a lot. Yeah.
There's no easy way to respond to that.
We're Asians. We're very shallow. So sorry. At least we came out and said it. But I have to say, you know, on behalf of Popcorn, good morning. How amazing. Yeah. On behalf of Popcorn, thank you so much. You just came in and added to our whole list of amazing, good-looking, but also very, very amazing and talented speakers. You know, you have so much to give. So thank you for being that. I'm just not living up to my promise of good-looking women who are also talented. So I'll do my best. Okay. The women are not complaining; they love it.
Coming up next week, don't you?
We next week, yeah, kind of thing. So Amin's upset. There's no hot babes, you know. And I'm sorry. I just attract the man. What can I do? You know. And it's so funny. I will send like a bulk message out, and the women will go, "Ooh, so handsome," and then they start talking. So I love it. I mean, thank you, God. I'm just thankful. But yes, thank you. Yeah. Okay. So next question. So today, what is it that you do? Who do you consult? Who do you work with?
Yeah. So my work is, I mean, I wear many hats. So my work is everything from presenting events to hosting shows, to creating content, and I'm blessed in the sense that I get paid to create content, more or less. I am also consulting, so I'm doing quite a bit of consulting with high net worth individuals, everything from CEOs to directors to executives. I work with some pretty elite individuals around the world and just help them do what I've done. So help them build influence and visibility and a presence on social media, specifically LinkedIn, as professionals. And I love doing it. And so it's a one-on-one consultation. I usually work with my clients for a minimum of 3 months, but most of my clients have carried on for the last 12 months onwards. And it's a process of building influence online in the same way that most of these people have influence offline. So people like people that are CEOs or perhaps thought leaders offline that haven't really extended that to social media, and therefore not many people are aware of who they are on social media, which is a very, very important platform. You can't ignore social media these days. It's going to be around forever in some way, shape or form. And I help them articulate their message and articulate what it is that they can offer online so that they can build influence online. Now, for those people wondering what influence actually is, it's not just about having a whole bunch of numbers next to your posts and likes and love hearts and all that kind of stuff. Influence is having the ability to lift people up to your way of thinking, to lift people up to your perspective. And when you have the ability to do that, you can influence many, many different interactions with your community. But what you'll generally do is attract people that believe the same things that you believe. And that's what community is all about. It's a very, very powerful thing.
Love it, love it, love it. Okay. Well, somebody says, Agnes, I know you're complimenting me, but you're saying my face is chubby, but it's okay. Thank you. Love you.
That's not nice.
No, it's okay. She actually said I look good with my chubby face, which is true. Okay. I love don't you just love Asians? They're honest, But then, when you read it, you're like, but it's okay. I love you. Thank you, Agnes. Okay. Speaking about what you said, do you think a lot of CEOs are clueless, about LinkedIn? We're very aware about it. What do you think they're clueless about? And number two, what do you think holds them back? Because there's a lot of fear as well in C-levels to take it to social media. In your opinion, what do you think it is?
Yeah, that's why I love working with them. There's many fears there. But before fear, there's just a serious lack of time and energy that they can put towards social media. Their days are spent from 5 a.m. through to 8 p.m. each day, just dealing and managing and leading their business. And so it's very, very difficult for them to even think about something else. But I show my clients how they can manage the entire process, everything from content to engaging and building a community and maintaining that community by spending no more than, let's say, 1 hour per day. And that's done by, in fact, in most cases, 1 hour per week. And that's done by building a content team around you. You don't have to do everything yourself. It's almost impossible to do everything yourself. And I myself have a team that helped me with some of the things that I mentioned earlier in terms of engaging and content creation. And so first of all, it's a lack of time that they're not in their headspace to dedicate their time to anything other than their business and their families, for example. The other thing is they underestimate the platform in terms of what it can actually do, in terms of the change that you can make, the impact that you can have, the influence and people that you can reach, and what that then means in terms of real world opportunities. you can get some real world opportunities by simply being consistent on LinkedIn with your content and engagement. And I mean, you can get some incredible speaking engagements. You can find partnerships and joint ventures. You can become ambassadors. You can become an ambassador for organizations that you are seriously passionate about. You can connect directly with C-levels and directors and executives when ordinarily, if you were to give them a call through their organization, you'd get maybe 10 or 12 different gatekeepers.
We call them bouncers here in Asia. The bouncers, they're tiny, they're sitting in front of the office, but they're so powerful. You never walk past them.
They love abusing that power.
Yes.
You can reach people directly on LinkedIn, and the opportunities that have been able to come my way as a result of just doing what I'm doing. That's the reason that I love speaking about influence, because you get to the stage where you literally create opportunities for yourself. You don't wait for them, you create them. Instead of chasing people, you have people then following you up for amazing opportunities. You can get to the stage where you open your inbox every single day, look at the messages, and you have these opportunities that you can personally choose from. Everything from speaking engagements to podcast appearances to interviews to people requesting meetings for potential partnerships and joint ventures. And I mean, the list goes on and on and on. So CEOs underestimate the power of LinkedIn and what building their presence and maintaining their presence online can actually do. And the other thing is content creation. CEOs, number one, don't have time for content creation, and they also don't get the benefit of it in terms of using it to empower and inspire and educate. And so educating them on the content creation process and actually how easy that can be. And a lot of the things I teach them is how to repurpose content. So for example, if they give a presentation to their staff, that's a 30-minute presentation about the business. My team can take that 30-minute presentation and turn that into 10 micro videos, or they can turn that into carousel posts or images or quote images. You can get very, very clever with content by simply using the content that you're already giving out. And you can be very, very efficient with that. So they don't have to dedicate separate time to creating content. They can simply just be smarter with the work that they are currently doing. And so all of those things are reasons that CEOs haven't really been investing in social media, but it's changing now with LinkedIn. And the CEOs that I'm working with are achieving incredible things. And a lot of them now have gotten to the stage where their businesses more or less manage themselves, and they can now spend more time doing what a lot of them love to do, and that is give back, contribution, teaching people how they actually got to where they are, mentoring people at scale. And so content and influence allows you to do that.
Right. Awesome. There's a couple of questions here. I mean, do you want to take that?
I think we can. Where do we start? There's quite a lot here.
Okay. Do you want to start with Anit, because she's right at the bottom?
Okay, let's start with Anit. Okay, so how do you sniff out genuine requests for engagement? Any tips on how to keep your pulse on the ground to remain relevant?
How do you sniff out genuine requests for engagement? I'm not sure I understand the question.
I think there's a lot of kind of Anit, could you clarify your question? Is it how do you sniff out the fakers, spammers from the genuine ones?
Oh, right.
It could be
messages. Okay. All right. It comes down to experience. I would say of all the messages that I receive, probably about 50% are irrelevant and messages that I can delete straight away. I'm just seeing if she's clarifying. And messages that I can delete straight away, and they might be anything from just straight out sales, messages that have nothing to do with me, or they might be spam, or they might be, people that have just ulterior motives. And I can sniff that out quite quickly because it happens on a daily basis. But anyone that sends me a genuine message that wants to chat or communicate, as long as it's a message, just like you, as long as it's a message that says more than hi. I don't like messages where people waste their time and they just write hi or hello and they don't write anything else. If you're going to send someone a message, make sure you include why you're reaching out to them, or at least some substance so they can actually come back to you. But I make a point of responding to every message, and it's very, very clear, usually almost instantly, as to which messages are relevant and which ones you can respond back to, usually just by how they start. So I give it a quick look, and sometimes I don't even need to open a message. I can ordinarily just delete straight away, depending on who, where, what it's from, and the subject matter.
Good one.
Awesome. I think at the end of the day is the more that you use the platform, you can kind of see a pattern. And Ahmad being 3 years, he can tell the dodgy ones. After a while, you'll see the patterns, right? Like I actually sent him like a really long message. It wasn't just hi. Just saying.
Your message was great.
Oh, really? Thank you. Oh, really? Yes. What did I tell you guys? Learn. Okay. Anyway, I have to say this. Jane is saying, good morning. Here's your ardent follower. So, Jane, I think you only follow my good-looking speakers, okay? You're biased. So somebody wants to know the secret of 1 million followers. Journey to 1 million. How did you get to 1 million? That's crazy, 1 million. So that's what they're saying. Can I think the next question? Hang on. I mean, maybe you have a question while I go through this.
I think maybe we can just look into it from. Is there a secret to get to the 1 million? Besides,
yes.
I know you talk about content, you talk about engagement and all that. But if you were to look back, and if you were to give advice to yourself, right, on how to get to 1 million, what would that be for you?
Yeah, I would say, and the interesting thing is I was able to really grow my following exponentially once I stopped trying to grow my following. And what I mean by that is you need to obsess about being yourself as opposed to obsess about building a following. And once you obsess about being yourself, and you're willing to put yourself out there and allow people to connect with you in all your vulnerabilities, in all your downtimes, the good, the bad, the ugly, and people can then connect with you as that human being, and they feel that they can resonate with that. That is how you build a community at scale, because we are all the same once you dig down deep enough. And for me, it's been a lot of storytelling. It's been a lot of shocking vulnerability. It's been a lot of collaboration and giving back as much as I possibly can in the way of free value. And it's also been doing that for quite some time before monetizing my brand. And that's a key here. So a lot of people will jump on LinkedIn, and within a couple of weeks, they're selling a webinar or they're selling their course, and they haven't even earned the right to be able to do that yet, because their community doesn't trust them. The people that view their content doesn't trust them. And so for me, it's been a combination of a few things. It's been a lot of consistency, a lot of content that is often targeted content. So actually understanding what questions people are asking, and then trying to create content that answers that question. It's also understanding what people are feeling at the time, and providing content that makes them feel better about themselves or better about the situation. Okay, so for example, a lot of people right now are stressed, they're overwhelmed, there's a lot of small business that is suffering, people are going through mental health, and you need to be able to respond to that, as opposed to just come out and talk about, your course, which has nothing to do with what people are feeling. You need to be able to tap into what people are feeling now, give them some sort of solution, or inspire them in some way to deal with the next steps. And then that is going to build enough trust to the point that they're willing to listen to you about anything else that you present. And collaboration has been crucial for me. So collaborating with as many people as you can, strategically, globally, so that you can actually share each other's audiences. And that's very important. So the goal is to get in front of new audiences as much as possible. And you can do that by engaging on different people's posts, and you can do that by collaborating with other people on the platform. Now, if you have, let's say, 1,000 followers, you don't go out and reach out to someone with 1 million followers and say, can I collaborate with you? So you start off with someone that's let's say at your level, you collaborate with someone that's got, let's say, 1,000, 2,000 followers, and then as you both grow, you start reaching out to other people and collaborating with people that have 20,000 followers, and you keep going and you keep going and you keep going. And through that process, you continue adding value to many different audiences and communities, and you'll find your following will grow. So it's really a process of consistency in terms of your content, in terms of your engagement, in terms of your collaboration, and being very, very efficient and effective with the process of content creation. Repurposing a lot of your content is very, very helpful.
Awesome. Which goes in Jocelyn's question, because you actually mentioned that being an entertainer, the beginning, how much of that helps with the level of success you achieve? Does it help, if anything? It's not necessary, is it? Because it depends on the person's brand, right?
It does. It depends on your brand. It depends on what you sell, your industry. You know, I'm not expecting a lawyer or an accountant to come out and provide some entertaining content. However, I do know a few that do, and it really resonates. You know, so I believe the best way to get people to absorb information through your content is to be edutaining, as to educate people in an entertaining way. And it doesn't mean you need to do a song and a dance to deliver your content. It just means you need to differentiate yourself. You know, instead of just doing the standard, 5 tips to be an accountant, you know, it might be a little twist on that. You know, you might talk about your 5 your 5 favorite client avatars. You might talk about 5 messages that you receive over and over again. You need to get creative with it. You might put out a fun video with your staff that lets people see behind the scenes. There are just so many things that you can do, but educating people in an entertaining way, I found, is the key, regardless of what you do.
So edutaining, got it. I mean, any questions?
Wow, I'm just
Okay.
I'm very I'm looking into what people are feeling now, and I can really resonate to that.
Yeah.
I think that, this is just a lot of gems and a lot of tips here. One of the other questions that I also want to ask is, what are some of the struggles that you go through in your journey that maybe perhaps you can share with us? And how do you overcome some of the struggles? If you can take a look at 3 struggles that you have and how do you overcome it, I think it'll be something.
Good question.
Maybe there's some wisdom there.
Look, time is also a balance, as we discussed, and it's something that always comes up. And there are some days, some weeks, where you're just working on a number of different things and you simply don't have the time to dedicate to social media, nor do you have the energy or the willpower to even look at it, just because you're exhausted from so many other things. The way to overcome that, I found, is to just be prepared. It's all in the preparation. So right now, I don't create content every day on that day. I create content 2 weeks in advance. And I have my team assisting me to do that, but it's as simple as, if you're setting up a camera to record a piece of content, instead of just setting everything up, recording the video and then bringing it back down, think about what else you can do in terms of creating content while everything is set up. So while I have my camera set up, I might try and record 5 different videos. Okay. And that might be for the next 2 or 3 weeks. Okay. And the same thing applies to different content forms. Try and figure out how you can be more efficient with your content to include a lot more content pieces within the same sitting. Because I can guarantee you there's going to be at least 1 or 2 days throughout the week. Sometimes there's going to be weeks upon weeks where you just don't even want to look at social media. And that's where it really helps, So for me,
so you prepare them in advance.
I prepare everything in advance. So I keep a Google folder with everything in there, and I literally get to the stage where I'm about to post content for that day. I go into my Google folder. I get a sense as to how I want to curate it, as in what are people feeling today based on a number of events, and then I'll put out a piece of content. It's literally just a matter of copy and pasting. So I put zero effort into that. That's really how I've remained consistent. In terms of engagement and other things, you can outsource that. So you can have people assist you with engaging. So if you want to engage for 1 or 2 hours per day to show as much love as you can to other people, so that they can reciprocate and give engagement to you on your posts, and you can't do that yourself every day, outsource that work. There are people that can assist you with that, like a virtual assistant, for example. So time is a big one, and there's a way to get over that by preparation and also getting assistance where needed. The other thing is ideas. Like, if you have to post content every day or 2 weeks in advance, how do you keep coming up with ideas every single day?
Exactly.
That I found to be a struggle as well. And you sometimes get to a stage where you're like, I don't just want to put out fluff. I don't want to put out content for the sake of putting out content. I want to put out something valuable. And so there's actually quite a few resources that really help. And I'm happy to give you some resources now that might benefit your community. So, there's a great website called title-generator.com. So it's www.title-generator.com. And it's a great resource for actually helping you come up with ideas, headlines, topics for your particular industry. And literally all you have to do, it's pretty much a page that's connected to a Google search engine. You type in your topic. Let's say for me, it might be personal development, and it'll give you 700 different questions or topics or headlines that you can turn into content pieces. And there's many other resources that are similar. There's another one called Ask the Public. So askthepublic.com is a very similar website, but they actually focus on giving you questions. So I mentioned earlier, the key to creating successful content is actually answering people's questions, solving their problems, assisting them with their pain points. And so Ask the Public, you can enter in a word that is your topic, and it'll come up with a whole bunch of questions that people are actually typing into Google about that particular topic, your particular topic. And then you can literally grab one of these questions, and in each piece of content, just answer one of these questions. So that's a way to come to get over content ideas. And I would tell people, just observe throughout the day. Observe. If you're with a client, you're speaking to a client, and you help them with something, or your client has an aha moment based on something that you told them, that's a piece of content you can share with someone else. Right? If you watch something on TV or you listen to some podcast and you feel something from some sort of message, that's a piece of content. So you'll be amazed at how much there is in terms of pieces of content. The other thing is you have to know when to take a break. It's very easy to get burnt out. I've actually been burnt out a couple times early on LinkedIn when I was at it every single day. Learn to take a break, and you can do that, like I said, by preparing content in advance. And there's also nothing wrong with just, stopping your social media activity for a week, for 2 weeks, to go on holiday for 3 or 4 weeks. There's nothing wrong with that. A lot of people think that if they just leave social media for one day, that all of a sudden they're going to come back and no one's going to know them, that they're going to lose popularity. It's not the case. People are going to appreciate the fact that you're coming back refreshed, and you can provide some brand new content that is really going to add some value.
All right. I think that's really, really good advice. Now, speaking of that, what sort of mindset do we need to have in order for success on this platform?
What kind of mindset do you need to have?
Yeah.
You need to have a resilient mindset. You need to not let other people's opinions determine your own value. Because one thing that's going to happen is people are going to give their opinions. That's what people do. Some of those opinions are very positive and encouraging, and other times they're quite the opposite. you know. So, and if you allow that to get to you, if you're sensitive about some people's some opinions, it can be very, very difficult for you, because people are going to provide their opinions in the comments to your post. They're sometimes going to send you direct messages, saying disparaging things or disagreeing. So you need to be very resilient in your approach, and remember why you're doing this. If you're doing this to spread your message and to make an impact and to help out even just one person per day, then that should be your driver. But yeah, I would say you need to be resilient, you need to be confident, and you need to remember why you're actually doing this in the first place, because opinions are going to come through very, very thick and fast.
Mm-hmm. I love that. Not let it affect you, kind of thing. So love it, love it, love it. I mean, any last questions? Because we've got 4 minutes left. It's 11:11 a.m.
You're on mute, Amin.
I was just about to ask about the time and all that. So we have 4 more minutes.
Mm-hmm.
What would be your one advice to those who are starting? Right? If they want to start doing this and they just want to put themselves out there, there's one valuable advice I can give to them. What would that be?
And what would be your one advice for somebody who's already there for some time? So that's two different advice for somebody who's starting and somebody who's already started but kind of stuck.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me start with someone that is yet to start. They want to start, but maybe they're procrastinating. I would say this: you only need two things to start. You need a phone and you need a message. That's it. If you have a phone and you have a message to share, you're ready to go. You don't need, you don't need a studio like this. You don't need fancy lights. You don't need an expensive camera. You just need a phone, and with a phone, you can do everything from create graphics to record video and just use that to spread your message. So that's what I would say initially. Don't overthink the process. It's actually far more easier than you think, as long as you just share what you feel is going to help other people. For those that are, let's say, have been creating content and they're feeling a little stuck, I would say this. In the beginning of the process of creating content, it was probably a lot more fun than it might feel like right now. And for a lot of people, I think it probably feels like a bit of a chore, as in, oh God, I got to write my LinkedIn post for today. And you start to lose a bit of that excitement. Go back to the process when it was actually fun. And if that means switching up your content to make it more creative, or if that means talking about topics that you genuinely love to talk about and bringing more of you and your everyday life into your content. And I don't mean by sharing personal things about your family, but just things that you genuinely love to talk about. There's a way to combine all of those elements to make it interesting and fun for you. So for example, I enjoy a lot of things. So I like having a bit of a laugh. I don't like to take myself seriously. I enjoy songwriting. I like doing silly things like rapping. And so
I don't think that's silly. That's hard. Rapping is hard. It's a skill.
It's not easy at
all. I was able to combine the rapping and branding and personal development together to put out a creative video that was fun for me, because that was a project that allowed me to get back into the mindset of, you know what, this is fun. This should be fun. I want people to see this different creative side and allow them to absorb that content. So start sharing a little bit more about what it is that you genuinely enjoy, as opposed to just forcing content out. And whatever that looks like for you, it might be in a form of video, it might be in a form of writing or a blog, but focus on a subject matter that you actually like and find a way to add value through that subject matter, or link that subject matter to what it is that you do to generate revenue.
All right, sounds good. 1 more minute.
Jocelyn
is asking, can we get a taste of your rapping skill here? That's a good one. Do you do it on the fly or do you prepare?
No, it's definitely prepared. I'm not skilled enough to let's say freestyle or anything like that. But if you go to my profile and you go to my featured section on my profile, you will see the video there. So,
All right.
so enjoy that.
Yeah, we'll definitely do that. Okay, one last question. Moving forward, what is next for Ahmad Imam?
Wow. There's a lot of exciting things on the horizon that I'm actually working on right now. And you'll probably hear about that over the coming weeks. But look, I'm going to be doing a lot more presenting, hosting, edutaining, and giving back as much as I possibly can, not only through LinkedIn, but through other platforms as well.
Nice.
So all I'll say is stay tuned, and it'll all make sense pretty soon.
Okay, and with that, guys, please make sure you connect and follow Ahmad Imam on LinkedIn. That's the Ahmad Imam, right, on LinkedIn. And I mean, you're putting the link there, right? Yeah. So make sure you follow him. And thank you so much for today. Excellent advice. And there's a
My
lot
pleasure.
of yeah, thank you. There's so many gems from today. So thank you so much. I mean, what's the biggest gem for you from today? We can't hear you, Amin.
Yeah, I like the part when he said, because right now I'm going through a break on social media, and yeah, so going back to why you do this in the first place and what makes it fun, I think that I kind of resonates with that right now, and I like the part where he says about earning the rights.
Yeah.
In the beginning, so earn the
Yep.
right for you to be able to get to the results. So brilliant sharing, Ahmad. I'm inspired.
Yeah. Thank you.
Really inspired.
Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
There's so many gems that we can take in today. For me, it's definitely the collaboration part. I think I haven't done enough of collaboration for me personally. I'm going through what Amin is going through, so I'm like, oh, his social media.
Yeah,
no
it's like,
yeah, it's you know, it's cathartic, and I think my boyfriend's getting most of the anger right now. Poor thing. Okay, anyway. And I think definitely one of the things that really resonate for me is you put it in such a simple way. Show the human, the person behind that professional image, and I love that because that will help with so many professional people because they keep thinking they need to put on a professional front, but the way you said it is just so simple. Love it. Yeah.
And put it this way: people will gravitate towards personal brands more than they will business brands.
Definitely.
People trust personal brands more than business brands. And so what does that tell you? People like getting personal and they like understanding the person and building relationships with the person first. And there's no better way to do that than giving people an opportunity to connect by just being a bit more real. So it's a very important point.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Ahmad Imam. I mean, we're so grateful. Everybody's saying thank you so much for having you on, for actually gracing our show. Thank you. Yeah, so it means so much to us to have somebody with 1 million followers actually, you know, responding to my message and actually saying yes to the show. So thank you so much. Yeah. And we wish you all the success. We're going to be supporting you all the way. Definitely.
Thank you so much. I've had so much fun. I love the format of the show. I love the way you both bounce off each other. I love the intros and everything. It's been a lot of fun.
Okay, thank you so much. So we'll let you go because it's 3 minutes past your time, so we want to be respectful of your time.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah.
Take care, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
We can't hear you, Amin. Okay, guys.
Sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
I keep on muting my phone.
What was the biggest thing that you learned from that session with Ahmad Imam? Do let us know in the comment section so that we know where you guys are at. And for me, definitely, it's putting the person behind that professional image. And you know, living in the world that we're living in today, everything's like, you know, people trying to sell you something. So this is my professional image. We want to know that person behind that company, behind that brand. We want to support you, but we can't if we don't know who's that person. And we're kind of missing that out now in this digital age where we cannot meet you personally. Yeah, and get a sense and vibe of who you are, kind of thing. So definitely super insight for you. What's your biggest learning, Amin?
What I said just now, earn the rights, but there's just so many stuff just now. I'm like writing everything in my notes.
Hi, Zaf. Did you just tune in? We had a good show, so you're gonna have to come in and watch. Yeah. So Sam is saying what Imam just shared, what popcorn thought is wow, so powerful, yo.
Wait, you know what? The other part that I really like is that he talks about focus on what people are feeling now and provide a solution for it.
Yes, you're right.
That
That
one
is
is like,
also,
boom.
yeah. So
Okay.
if okay, I mean, I'm gonna pick your brain now because this is what we do. Picking Amin's brain, yes. This is what we do. We pick Amin's brain. You know, sounds wrong, but okay. So because of what he said, it's about how people are feeling right now. So would it be right for me to say that sometimes we don't even talk about our brand, but we really look into taking care of people, and that will somehow bring back to the business?
I agree. I agree,
Huh?
definitely. Yeah. I think the idea is to understand, first thing first is what you can provide to the world, what you can provide to the
Mm.
people, and
Mhm.
really understanding the pain point of people and focus on providing the solution.
And what if
When he
your
says it,
pain? Yeah. What
yeah,
if what you solve is got nothing to do with the pain point that people are going through right now? Just wondering. Then what?
well, maybe you need to dig deeper. I truly believe right now, at this time, there's a lot of things that we can provide and do if we really focus out. I think the
Mm.
problem right now is that because we focus too much on ourselves, right? So we can't see the solution that we can provide to others.
Okay,
So
makes sense.
yeah, that's how I see it.
Okay, are you guys getting this? Let us know in the comment section. So I'm afraid that's all the time we have for today. But again,
Yep.
next week, today was such a super insightful session. If you love this, actually, let us know if you like it in the morning. I'm not used to this light, kind of things. Makes me look like, oh, I need more eyebrows. But anyway, let us know if you love it in the morning. And if it's in the morning, like what time in the morning, let us know. And next week, just to recap quickly, you want to tune in.
Hmm.
We're back at 8:30 next week. We've got
Yep.
award-winning and internationally acclaimed speaker, audiobook publisher, corporate podcast producer, and vocal leadership expert Tina Dietz talking about unleashing your thought leadership with audio marketing. This is interesting because you guys get to do thought leadership through audio marketing. For me, my brain cannot handle because it's like, wow, you have like an audio thing and you become a thought leader. Like what? So want to find out more about that. And the week after, Thursday, 26th August, we've got Amin's favorite. Finally, we have a hot bait, Rancia Sanvira, TikTok influencer with 3.6 million followers, who's going to be teaching us how she grew her business, which
Hmm.
she's a child parenting and marriage counselor and founder of Mama Life. So how she grew her business using TikTok. I'm interested to know about that. So we hope you learned something. If you know someone who can really appreciate what the insights that we got from today's show, please tag them, give us a like, follow all our social media, and that's it from
Hmm.
us, kind of thing. Yeah. So thank you so much. We're going to be coming out with more speakers. If you want, if you see people out there who you think we should interview, let us know. Drop me a DM. I think that's all the time we have for today. I'm Nina signing off, and this is.
And I'm signing off. We'll see you again next week, 8:30 p.m. Bye,
And you
guys.
have been popcorned. Bye.
Bye.